Okay, welcome everyone to the Zegrot3 talk. Basically, it's like a TED talk, but not really because it's not in any way, shape, or form. I'm just like calling it Zegrot3 talk. But yeah. How do I put this? It has been a very long time since I did the last Zagroot 3 talk, and that was about single player games versus multiplayer games. This one probably won't be as long as that one because that one went on for like 40 minutes or so. And this one is a much smaller topic, which is driving. All aspects of driving, parking, highway, speeding, just about anything that you can think of that I really want to talk about. Yeah. So, including like road rage and things like that. Now, honestly, when it comes to parking, I don't really have any major issues except for whenever they're like the parking lots are like full. Like, have you ever parked somewhere and there's no parking, and you always see like the commercials of a guy climbing out of his trunk to get out of his car because he had to park so close to the wall, be at like a sports event or something like that, because there is absolutely no parking. Everything is just completely full, and then there are the jackasses that want to park, let take like 2 to 3 slots with one stinking car by either parking on the line or like parking sideways, and you're like, well, that person's an asshole. And like that's the only time that I have problems with parking or a parallel park. To anyone who in the city is probably like, you have a problem parallel parking, don't come to the city. But yeah, because I do have my sister who lives in a city, and because of that, they are like all they do is parallel park, and I'm like watching them whenever they do. I'm like, I couldn't do this. Like that, this is kind of difficult. Not gonna lie, I would struggle. Like this would be a problem for me. Like really now, no. Like whenever I'm parking at my college, usually there is like a lot of places, and I'm fine with like getting near cars and things like that. But it just really, I'm like, no, when there's no space, or when I need to do those parks where like 2 people are like next to their line and I have exactly enough room for my car, I am like, no, 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 no. Because even though they are like exactly in the line, or even if they were technically on the line, it could be considered like my fault. I could have to pay for them, for like the car repairs if I actually hit it, because yes, they fucked up when it came to like how they parked, but at the same time, I'm the one that like actively hit their car. So I don't really know how well it would go in like the court system of like who would win and who would lose there. Just because, I am the one that like actually hit the car and everything. But then there's just the fact of just like that happening. But now usually whenever I am trying to drive and or park, or whenever I'm parking, I will always try to go like forward. Like, how do I put this? I don't like reversing out of a parked slot. So, but like in cities, there's like buildings that are only meant for parking. I can't think of what it's called. Like a parking garage, I believe is what it's called. I don't like those, one, because some of them are ridiculously expensive, like an initial fee of like $15 to get in, and every hour it adds another $2, and then you're like, are you, like, what? Like, I guess to some that probably is like, oh, that's pretty reasonable. To like me, when I'm like, just find a fucking parking slot. Even if you have to go out the way, just find one. You don't need to pay for that shit. So, I'll be completely fine with just going somewhere else where there is either it's cheaper or something like that, or it's free. But, like, I hate those, not just because of the expense, and because there are no slots in there where it has, like, a lot of parking slots next to each other. It's not an entire parking lot, where you can drive into a place technically, not backwards. I don't like reversing through it. I'll kind of just go into the next lane. Like, some people probably understand exactly what I'm talking about. Others are probably a little bit confused. But when there are like 2 slots right next to each other, but they're horizontal and not diagonal, or maybe vertical, depending on the parking slot. But then I will go into mine as if I'm going to reverse, but then I'll keep going straight and I'll get into the next one. That way, when I leave, I can just go straight out. Makes everything easier. It's just the way I do things. It's the way I do things every time I go to college. And that's just like the way I like to do things there. And it's not that I can't reverse out, because every time I go into my driveway, I need to reverse out. There is no forward way out of my driveway. Because I need to reverse there. So it's not like I can't. It's just that I always am like scared that I'm going to hit another car from reversing, or I'm going to hit someone from reversing, or just something like that where I can't see because of the cars around me, or the vision is a lot more cut off when you're going backwards instead of going forward. And because of that, I'm a lot more comfortable going forward instead of backwards, but I still can do it. It's just not my preferred thing to do. Now, when it comes to regular driving, I am not the safest driver, neither am I like the most unsafe. Like, a lot of people will like judge me off of my driving, and I'm like, have you seen how other people drive? Like, are you kidding me? Like, a lot of things that my mother would like to say is that I always like to stop at a dime, where I'm go pretty fast, or like the speed limit up until a stop. Now, this is my own, I agree that I do this, but that's because it really angers me whenever I am stuck behind someone that knows that they're going to be turning soon, or that it sees that a light's red, and then they just decide to just take their foot off the darn pedal. And I'm like, we are in a damn 35, and you're going like 25 because there's a red light. Now, yes, I understand that it does save on gas. It really does. But at the same time, how about you just go a little bit faster until we get a little bit closer? Like, it really angers me whenever people do something like that. I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, yes, I understand that I'm going to be braking soon enough here too, but at the same time, it just bugs me. It's just one of those things that just bugs me. And then, but like, taking turns, I learned from like one of my driving instructors when I was first getting my license that the way you're supposed to take turns is you're supposed to brake before the turn and then accelerate through the turn, and it just makes it a smoother transaction. That's just how I do things. And honestly, I would agree with them. Like, every time, I will always brake. Sometimes actually kind of hard before stops when I'm going too fast, but majority of the time, I'll just kind of brake right before I turn. And then as I'm turning, I will always accelerate through it, like, no matter what. Even if I'm stopped at a stop sign and I have to turn, I will accelerate through the turn and then accelerate more after I've done turn. And it really does just make things go a lot smoother throughout the entire turn. I generally don't... I am not the widest turning person in the world, but like, my turns kind of vary of how wide or sharp they are. I'm pretty sure I'm capable of doing like any type of turn. I am very confident in my driving skills, to be completely honest. So yeah. And then another thing is, whenever I am just on like the regular road, I'll go like 5 over. If the speed limit's 35, I'll be going 40. If it's 40, I'll be going 45. Something like that. The only time I don't is we're going on to the next topic, the highway, freeway, whatever you want to call it. I have a highway near us that is, like, the speed limit is 65. I am sorry to any police officer who might be listening to this, but I am always going, like, fucking 75, 80. Because, honestly, when I consider, like, the highway, and I'll be in the passing lane the entire way, so it's not like I'm riding people's asses or anything like that. Like, I never get too close to cars because I don't like getting that close to other cars. But I will always be like, I'll be zooming. I don't like being on the highway for 5.5 years, and it is like a 20-minute drive to my school, so I'll turn that 20-minute drive to like a 15-minute drive, because I'll be going 80 down the entire darn highway, and that is the majority of my drive. And I'll just be going down, And then we're going to get into what annoys me. The first thing that annoys me, which is also on the regular road, whenever some fucker is going beneath the speed limit. Like, I cannot stand it. Here's a story of this guy. We were on a 35-mile-an-hour road. There's a regular road. And this person turns in front of me. Now, he had the time to turn, but then he didn't really accelerate all that quickly after turning, so I actually needed to brake. Now, he had the time to turn, but yet I needed to brake because he didn't accelerate. And then, okay, I'm thinking maybe he's just one of those guys really slow to accelerate their car. It is better for the car to accelerate it slower because it helps with like the engine and things like that. I don't fully know everything about it, but I know that if the slower you accelerate the car, the better it is. Like for the vehicle, but not for the people behind you. So I'm just thinking that. But then I realize, no, this dude is barely accelerating. Once he actually starts to accelerate, he is going stinking like 30. And I am getting so darn angry. And I'm like, I don't understand why you can't simply go the speed limit. Just go the speed limit. It's just that simple. Go the speed limit. Or like you're allowed to go 5 flipping over it. Just do it. But then to make things worse, this guy decides to turn, or he starts to brake anyway. And I start to brake. I'm braking lightly. He's braking lightly. Everything's fine. And we get in an area that has 3 lanes because a light is coming up. The right lane, turn right. For first, middle lane, go straight. Left lane, turn left. A light. So that's like what happens at the light. But there is a hardware store before this light. He wants to turn into the hardware store. So he goes from lightly braking to a complete stop. So I slam on my brakes because, yeah, I had no other choice. And I'm right behind him. I am probably like a quarter of a car length away. I am too close for comfort, in my opinion. And then he starts to turn. Now, we are in the middle lane. He needs to go through the right lane and into the hardware store. So he instead of getting into the right lane, then turning, the smart room, he decides to turn from the middle lane, goes through the right lane straight. But as he gets in the middle of the darn right lane, to where he's still slightly in the middle lane, I start to accelerate a little bit because I'm like, okay, he's turning, he's about to be done. But then he stops for no reason. I slam on my brakes again, even a little bit closer, just being like, are you fucking kidding me, dude? And then he slowly moves forward. And I wanted to get out of my car and beat this man. I did not understand why he stopped, why he didn't get in the right lane to turn right, why he had to go slower than the speed limit. Yes, I understand that the hardware store wasn't that far away from where you turned, but at the same fucking time, you couldn't go the goddamn speed limit. Are you kidding me, bud? Are you kidding me, bud? And so, yeah. But then back to what I was originally talking about with the highway. I will just always be speeding. And, like, I haven't gotten a ticket for it or anything. Like, honestly, I find it that it's completely fine to go 5 over on a regular road and personally to go 10 over on, like, a highway. Because I just find it stupid to be at, like, anything else. Let's say, yeah, I understand that 65 is pretty fast, too. And, yes, a car accident is relevant. But I have never been close to a car accident on the highway, to be completely honest. I've been close to a car accident on, like, a regular road, but never the highway. Twice on the regular road. Once my fault, once this idiot's fault. And I've seen people get really, really close, and a few actual crashes as well. But, yeah, but, like, then annoyances that I have on the highway are if you are a person and you want to sit in the left lane and not pass a car or be going almost the same speed as a car that is in the right lane, Get the fuck out the left lane. You are subhuman trash. And I am sorry to those of you who do that. I'm not really. But there have been so many times where I'll go into left lane and I'll start to speed up. And I'll be going my 75. Now, yeah, I understand that that is fast. But I'm in the left lane. I am passing cars. I am consistently passing cars. But when I get to that car, then I need to brake on the highway because he's going 65 in the left lane right next to another car going 65 in the left lane, or like he's going 65 in the left lane. This car is going 65 in the right lane, and he's going even with them. Why are you in this lane? What are you doing? And then I also really hate the cars that are like going 67. Like, yes, I understand you only got in this lane to pass who's ever in front of you, and then the second you pass them, you're going to get in the right lane. But you want to get in the left lane and go 2 miles faster than this? Like, why'd you even go over here? Like, 2 miles really isn't going to do much in the grand scheme of things unless you are actually going to be driving for a full hour, which most people are not, except for, like, the long car rides. But yet again, like, the average person is just trying to get to work or trying to get to school and so on and so forth. So, like, why are you only going 2 more? Why are you becoming inconvenienced? But then, like, earlier stinking today, I am on my way home. I get in the left lane. I am going 80. A car in front of me, now he has time. He goes from the right lane to the left lane. Why? Because there's a car in front of him that he wants to pass. He is probably going 70 miles an hour. Speed limit is 65. I have to brake because I'm getting kind of close to him, and I'm like, okay. So then he finally passes the car in front of him, which didn't take too long, but took longer than it really should have because, yet again, he was going 70. Like, you're in the passing lane, bud. Even if a cop does come by, I don't think they're going to write you up for that. And if you really do see a cop, then yes, I will obviously acknowledge you going that slow. No duh. There's a cop. But he is going 70, finally passes the car in front of him. So then, I'm like, okay, you can get over now. He doesn't fucking get over. I was so genuinely confused, and unfortunately I couldn't go in the right lane to pass him until later on, which I did. Because we were coming up on like an entrance into the highway, and I didn't want to like inconvenience other cars, and there was other cars coming. And you're supposed to get over to the left lane if there's an entrance and people are coming in, because you don't want to be an inconvenience to them. But I couldn't get into the right lane and pass him, so then finally we continue going on. He is going his 70. We finally get into like an open stretch of land. I get in the right lane. I zoom up to my 80. I pass this motherfucker, and then I get back in the left lane. Like, why are you sitting there? How are you okay with sitting there and being an inconvenience to other people? Like, I genuinely don't understand how you can just fucking sit in the left lane and either not pass people, or after you pass people, continue to sit there, only going like 70. Like, I kind of understand, 75, or I would sort of understand that, but even then I'd be like, can kind of move? I want to go faster. And like, it is the right lane. You're supposed to get in it to leave it. It is literally meant for passing and then getting back over. But yet, I sit in the left lane. So you're probably thinking, oh my god, but you just complained about that. As I said, I am going 80. And if by some odd chance, which has happened to me in the past, someone starts zooming up and I can see that they're gaining speed behind me, I will then immediately get over into the right lane because I see that they're behind me. I see that they're zooming on me. I see that I should get over because they want to go faster. I will not sit there and be like, oh, no. You're going to go 80 now. Like, no. If he wants to fucking speed like 90, then you know what? Power to ya. Now, yeah, I'm not going to defend you if a cop comes around and says, did you see this man going 80 or like 90 in a 65? I'll be like, well, yeah, I did. But that's all that's going to happen. I'm not going to, like, not, like, I don't know how to describe it. I'll be like, yeah, I did kind of see that. But still, like, that was your choice to do it. You will face the consequences. Sorry, not sorry. So that, So really, that is like my major issue, is people just sitting in the left lane, and then people not going the speed limit, like on a regular road. Now, the stories that I do have two stories that I guess I can say of times that I was almost in an accident. One of them was my fault, but it was when I had my permit and before I actually had my license, and I was still learning how to drive, really. So yeah, it was pretty reasonable that it happened. Now, yes, I still would have been sued for the car accident, which, you know, it was my fault, as I would have accepted it, but still. So the one that was actually my fault consisted of a light, a very busy street, and my stupidity. So we're getting up close to a light, and it turns yellow. Now, originally, I'm looking at it and I'm thinking, okay, I think I can get through this because I wasn't that far away. But then, as I'm getting, like, closer, I realize I was farther away than I thought I was. And because of that, I would have ran the light if I kept going, but I still should have stuck with it. Because I ended up, like, braking, but I didn't, like, slam on my brakes. I just regularly braked. And because of this, I went farther than I should have. Like, no lie, I was partially in the lane in front of me, and if oncoming traffic would have proceeded, I would have been hit. And cars in front of or behind me were close enough behind me where I could not back up. So because I did that, I then needed to make the decision, okay, I need to move forward. Now, yes, the person in the car with me was like, okay, you fucked up, you need to go, and then I was like, but, shit. So then the cars to the right of me started to move forward a little bit. But they noticed how far out I am. The cars to the left of me started to move forward. So I'm like, okay, I just gotta go. If I get hit, I get hit. So then I started to move forward, and, like, the cars to the right of me are just kind of glaring at me. And I'm like, shit. I go, and I ran the red light. But it was either get hit by a car or run a red light. And in my opinion, I'm gonna run the fucking red light. And then, like, the person driving with me was like, you need to pick. Like, you cannot second guess yourself like that and decide, oh, no, I'm actually going to stop at this light instead of, oh, no, I'm going to go through the light. And I'm like, okay, I understand that. So, yeah, that was my fault. I fucked up. Then the other one that wouldn't have been my fault, well, yeah, it would not have been my fault, is actually at another light. So I am turning left. I am not going straight like last time. I am turning left. There is, we are on a very busy street, and turning left is honestly something that is kind of difficult to do on the street for how busy it is, unless you have the green arrow or the right of way. So I did not have it. There is oncoming traffic, but I had the time to go. And, like, so did, like, the two cars in front of me. All three of us could have honestly went in this time span. So then so then the first car goes, no problems. Second car's right behind him. Okay. I start to go, and then we come out with a problem. The cars in front of me brake. I couldn't see why, but they start braking. I am in the middle of the road, blocking 2 lanes with oncoming traffic. And the cars in front of me stopped moving. I was very tempted to quickly turn left and just zoom out of there or something like that and try my hardest to dodge this traffic. But luckily, the 2 cars in front of me, after braking there for a solid second, which, yes, 1 second, you're probably like, oh my god, it was just a fucking second. Why are you freaking out? But that 1 second can be a lot more of a distance coverer than you think. Like, in 1 second, a person can travel like 30 feet. If they're going fast enough in their car, they can travel that distance pretty easily. If they're going like 50 miles an hour, they can probably get that distance. And there's oncoming traffic. So, like, they stop, then they start going, then I start going. And honestly, by the time I got through the roads, the cars were like 15 feet away from the lights. Like, if they stayed there for 2 seconds to 3, I would have either been hit or those cars would have slammed on their brakes. So, yeah. So that has been me complaining about driving, basically. I understand that I really didn't touch up on all aspects of driving, but really I just wanted to talk about the things that annoy me the most, to be completely honest, and then slightly talk about other things. But yeah, so always go the speed limit at a bare minimum. Please always try to go 5 over, unless like you're not just you're curious, you don't know what the speed limit is or something like that. So please always, at a bare minimum, just go the fucking speed limit. Please don't go slower than the speed limit. It really pisses me off when I'm behind an old person and they're going 10 under the damn speed limit. I've been stuck behind people on a 55 road, go 15 miles an hour, and I'm just like, you are honestly the worst human being in the world. Like, a meteor could come and hit your car and somehow have no effect on mine, and I would not mourn. I would not be sad. And I would simply be excited that I can get to go around the meteor and pass you up. Yeah, sounds horrible. But that's how angry I get when someone's going really slow behind or in front of me and I can't do anything about it. And then, too, if you are on the highway and you want to pass a car, please do it as fast as possible. Pass that car. If that car's going 75 in a 70 zone and you want to pass it, please jump up to like 85 and then go back to like 76, 77 once you pass the car, not while you're passing the car, because otherwise you just become an inconvenience to those who are trying to pass you. And then don't ever sit in the damn left lane while you're going the speed limit. Like, it is the passing lane for a reason. You should not sit there. You are preventing me from passing. I need to get in the right lane to pass you. Do you know how ridiculous that is? Do you know how many people I have passed in the right lane because they're just fucking sitting there in the left one? Like, you are horrible. What are you doing with your life? Why are you doing this? So, yeah, that has been my my Zegrot3 talk about driving and my annoyances with driving. If you agree with me or disagree with me or have your own annoyances, please leave them down in the comments below. I will gladly get back to them, respond to them, talk. I will gladly have a full conversation with you guys. I do have like a... There's only been like one reply or message that I've gotten that I think I haven't responded to, and usually it's just like the general, this video is really good, you want to check out my videos? And I'm like, thanks, but no. But like, I will always try to get back and try to have like a conversation with you guys. I'm completely fine with doing that. So if you have anything to say, please leave it down below. And otherwise, please, like, subscribe. I post several, like 3 times a day. One Let's Play. It's kind of random what time of the day, so I'm sorry about what time it's going to happen. It's just pretty random. I am very sorry about that. But yeah, that's just kind of the way the cookie crumbles. And thank you all very much for watching. I will bid you all adieu. Goodbye.